Okay, guys, well, I'm back. Not sure why Facebook has suddenly decided that I can't broadcast from my page. That's how I've been doing these Weird Food Wednesday broadcasts for the last several months, but technology is what technology is. So we're just going to go old school here. Old school, yeah. Handheld cell phone as opposed to having it nice on the computer with the slides and all that. Good news is I can see your comments live now, so no long delay that I know of. So do go ahead and post your comments, your questions, all that on here, and we'll just do it this way. So I'm still going to be looking up at my computer screen to read my notes, so I make sure I cover everything. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about what I call Sneaky Joes. What are Sneaky Joes? Well, my theory is if you chop it small enough and you cook it long enough, nobody knows what it is, especially if you are cooking it in something like tomato sauce that has a fairly dark color to it. So we're going to talk about ways you can hide vegetables in your food so folks don't know it's there. Shh, they're sneaky. Okay, so of course, our goal is always to make sure, sorry, like I said, I'm reading my slides and my notes. Yeah, I do cheat on these. Our goal is always to learn to appreciate the natural flavors of our foods. We don't want to have to hide it to get it in us, right? But I know how it is. If you were like me and raised on the standard American diet, the SAD diet, right? Full of those processed foods and the chemicals and the artificial colors, the artificial flavors, all of that. If you were raised on that kind of food, your taste buds adapt. And so real food tastes funny at first, and it takes a while for your taste buds to adapt. So yeah, our goal eventually is to learn to appreciate the flavors of these foods, but if you need a little help along the way, sneaking vegetables into dishes like sloppy joes or spaghetti sauce or other foods like this is a way to get them in you. You're getting the nutrients, you're getting the nutrition, and your mouth is a little bit happier. So yeah, that's what we're talking about today. Now, I do have a rather funny story about this recipe. I do have a rather picky husband. He prides himself on being a meat and potatoes man, and so he's not real open to trying some of these weird foods that I'm forever creating, right? And so I thought, well, I'm going to make these Sneaky Joes, and I'm going to test my theory about chop it small enough, cook it long enough, and they won't know what's in it. So I was going to test this. So I found this really good sloppy joe recipe, which I will post here shortly. And I'm cooking it up, and I had recently purchased a food dehydrator. So I had been on a dehydrating kick, drying any and everything I could get a hold of. So I had this whole shelf full of dehydrated foods. I thought, you know what? I'm going to toss some of those in there just to see what happens. So my husband does not like mushrooms, so I took a handful of dried mushrooms, threw them in the pot. Doesn't care for bell pepper. Okay, we'll throw bell pepper in the pot. I threw seaweed in the pot. Yeah, I really did. You can get kelp powder, and you can use that in place of salt. It has that salty taste, but it has all the wonderful minerals that are in sea vegetables. So yeah, I threw that in the pot. And you know what? He not only ate it, he went back for seconds, all right? It was, yes, victory, right? I asked him, do you want to know what I put in there? And he said, no. I said, that's fine. That's good. It's nutritious. Eat all you want. So it was a great victory. So anyway, just a funny story. We all have these challenges, and I'm the same way. There's some times when I just don't like a particular food, but I know it's good for me. So you find ways to get it in you, right? That's what it's about. Okay, so do want to mention that I do have a class called Vegetables Even Your Husband Will Eat, based off of that story with my husband. And it's all about ways you can hide vegetables in food. And it kind of goes along the lines of these Weird Food Wednesday broadcasts where I'm using vegetables in unusual ways. So if you're interested in that class, maybe for a Sunday school group or a group of your friends or whatever, by all means, reach out to me. You can email me, marla@reclaimedhealth.com, or get me here on my Facebook page, send me a note here, and we'll work something out. Normally, if I'm just doing a speaking engagement, I don't charge to come out and speak to your group. So again, Sunday school classes or whatever groups you have, I'm happy to speak without charge. But if I'm going to do a cooking demonstration, I do need to charge a nominal fee to cover the cost of food, my time shopping, all that kind of stuff. So just reach out to me if you're interested in that vegetable class, and I'm happy to work out something for you. Whoops, that was the wrong button. Okay, so let's talk about some of these vegetables that you can sneak into your meals, all right? First one is lentils. And what are lentils? Lentils are a little bitty type of bean, okay? And you can substitute them for some of the ground beef in your recipes. When you put them in a recipe, they really do look like ground beef. You can't tell the difference. So let me just show you what that looks like here. Okay, so here we go. I bought the canned lentils this time, just for convenience sake. This was maybe $1 or $2, something like that for these lentils. If you buy them dry and cook them yourself, it's a whole lot more affordable. But this was just for a convenience thing. And so here they are. You can see they're a little bitty tiny. If I can get there you go. Little bitty tiny, and they look just like ground beef when you mix them into a dish. So you cannot tell the difference. So they add all kinds of wonderful nutrients, which we'll talk about here in a second, and you don't know they're in there. Some other ideas for sneaky vegetables, like I mentioned, mushrooms. They have wonderful healing properties. And again, when they're chopped up, they blend right in with the ground meat, so you won't see it at all, right? And then here's a neat tip. Everybody talks about how expensive it is to eat whole foods and how expensive organic foods are. That's not the case, actually, and I'm working on a blog post to prove that to you. But I last time I priced ground beef, I think the factory beef, raised the conventional way with corn and GMO ingredients and antibiotics and all that stuff. So the factory meat was running around, I think it was like almost $5 for a pound of ground beef. It was completely crazy. And the grass-fed organic beef is running around $8 or $9 a pound. So you think, oh my gosh, the grass-fed is so much more expensive. But you buy these little lentils, right? For, like I said, this was $1. Buy them dried and cook them yourself. It's even cheaper. It's pennies for a serving. And so you mix that in with part of the meat. So if a recipe calls for 2 pounds of ground meat, you use 1 pound of quality ground meat and several cups of the lentils. Mix it together. Your family's not going to tell the difference. I promise. These don't show up the way a black bean or other bean might show up. They're not going to know the difference. And so you're stretching out your food budget here. You're able to get organic, high quality foods, a pound of grass-fed beef and a cup or two of lentils for less than what you would pay for 2 pounds of conventionally raised beef. So absolutely go that route. It saves you money and you're getting better nutrition at the same time. Some other things you can use, of course, chopped greens. Stick some kale, chard, collards, whatever. Stick that in your food processor and chop it up till it's itty tiny. And again, it's going to blend right into that sauce as it simmers. Your family will never know it's there. We talked in the first episode of Weird Food Wednesday about substitutes for high-carb pastas, and one of the things we talked about was riced cauliflower. Stick some of that in there. It looks like rice. Again, your family's not going to know the difference, and it tastes good, right? You're not going to know it's there. One tip for using the cauliflower, though, would be add that towards the end. The riced cauliflower is going to cook very quickly, and the longer you cook cauliflower, the more it develops that cabbagey, sulfury kind of flavor that people don't want. So if you're going to add cauliflower, add it at the very end and cook it just briefly. You won't develop the flavor. But I find that when you mix it with something as strongly flavored as a sloppy Joe sauce with that tomato sauce, you're not going to taste it. So yeah, those are some vegetables you can sneak in there. You can sneak in some zucchini, some summer squash, any of those kind of things. Okay, so some benefits of lentils. Since a lot of you may not have heard of lentils, you're familiar with beans, but maybe not lentils. They help lower cholesterol because of their high fiber content. They help with heart health, digestive health. They help stabilize blood sugar. They contain protein, increase energy, and can aid in weight loss. All those tips came from a post on Mind Body Green called 7 Health Benefits of Lentils, is where I found that one. And so, like I said, and it's a great way to stretch your beef in any sort of casserole dish, sloppy joes, spaghetti sauce, shepherd's pie, anything like that that has a base of ground beef. Throw the lentils in there, save you some money, and get more nutrition. Mushrooms are high in antioxidants. Mushrooms are incredibly medicinal, healing foods. Sneak them in anywhere you can. High in antioxidants, they help lower your cancer risk and can improve immunity, lower inflammation. They're high in vitamins B2, 3, and 5, as well as copper, selenium, potassium, and phosphorus. Got those tips from Dr. Axe's website. Okay, so, normally, like I said, I'm posting the slides up here as I'm doing this so I can include recipes, ingredients, and all of this. Well, this Sloppy Joe recipe that I've got really is good. Like I said, my husband actually went back for seconds despite all the scary stuff I put in there, right? It really is good, but it has a much longer list of ingredients and instructions than some of these other recipes that I've been doing. So even if I had the slides up here, I wouldn't have had room to put that recipe up here. So that leads me to a really exciting announcement, and that is the Weird Food Wednesday website is almost done, y'all. Almost. And I can't wait to show it to you. I'm going to be able to post it. I'm going to show you my screen real quick because this is fun. There you go. Can you see that? Look at that. Printable recipe cards, additional tips, tricks, additional ways to use the foods, anything that I can come up with that I think you might be interested in, I'm going to be posting over on that website. So stay tuned here, comment below so that you know when I get ready to launch this thing. Hopefully in the next day or so, you'll know when it's ready and you can head over there and pick up all these wonderful extra tips like, can you say fudgesicles? We're going to have a healthy fudgesicle recipe. It's so yummy. And it's going to be over there on the Weird Food Wednesday website. So speaking of comments, I wanted to touch on that real quick. Okay, here's another fun slide. Don't keep me a secret, y'all. If you enjoy these broadcasts, tell somebody. You see, I ran into a friend the other day, and she commented to me about how much she enjoys watching these. And I said, oh, please comment. I love to see people's comments. I love to get your feedback. And she said, oh, well, I didn't know I could still comment because I'm watching the replay. Well, heck yeah, you can still comment on the replay. I will see it. I promise I keep an eye on comments and I do respond. So please do comment even if you're watching the replay, because I know Wednesdays at 6:30, a lot of you are in church and that kind of thing and can't watch the live broadcast. But if you're watching the replay, absolutely. Give me some love, y'all. Give me some love, right? and not only that, not only does it encourage me, because these broadcasts do take a great deal of work behind the scenes that you never see, to develop the recipes, to get the slides ready and all this other stuff and you wouldn't believe how I have to transform my kitchen just so I can broadcast this. So yeah, it does really encourage me to hear feedback from you and let me know that you're enjoying this stuff. But also it tells Facebook that, hey, something fun's happening over here on the Reclaimed Health webpage, and so it will begin to show it to other people. And that's important because we want to get the word out that real food doesn't have to be scary, it doesn't have to be complicated, it doesn't have to be expensive. It really can be simple and yummy, even if it is weird. So help me get the message out by commenting, liking, and sharing. It really does go a long way to both encourage me and to get other people on board with this lifestyle. Okay, is there anything else that I needed here? No, that was it. Thanks for watching. I will get this Sneaky Joe recipe posted here very shortly. Like I said, the website should be up hopefully by tomorrow. I hope to have it ready. And you can try this Sneaky Joe recipe on your own. Oh, I forgot one thing. How could I do this? Hang on. I totally forgot. Okay, so I showed you the lentils, right? And they're just small little bead-like looking things. Well, compare it to ground meat. Okay, yeah, the color's different, but the texture is very, very similar, right? And nobody's going to know the difference. Yeah, it's just ground meat. And hey, I got a secret, y'all. You want to know another sneaky secret that I did? That ground meat that I just showed you? Huh? This ground meat, huh? Looks like hamburger? It's liver. Fooled you. You thought I was showing you hamburger meat. This is not. This is actually liver that I sauteed very lightly in a little bit of water. And then once it cooled, I stuck it in the food processor and chopped it up. Now, okay, truth be told, This particular batch of chopped liver is for my elderly dog. He's 17 years old. Liver and kidneys are struggling, so he's on a special homemade diet that includes liver. But I can also put this in. In fact, I don't remember. I may have put some liver in my Sneaky Joe's the last time. Again, it looks just like ground beef. You can't tell the difference. And you don't need a whole lot of liver to get a whole lot of nutrition. It's a very nutritious food if you're buying it from, quality sources. Quality, healthy animals mean healthy products, right? So put a little bit of that ground liver in whatever ground beef products or dishes you're making and bump the nutrition up even further. So yeah, I can't believe I almost forgot that tip. All right, y'all, that does it for this episode of Weird Food Wednesday. I apologize again for the crazy tech issues. No idea what was going on, but we'll hopefully get it right for next time. I will see you in 2 weeks. Have a great week.